was recently asked by someone my perspective on a person who commits suicide, whether they are able to communicate with their family members through a medium right away. Does it take time? What happens to a soul or a person after they commit suicide? So I want to talk about my personal experience with that, what I have found through my mediumship readings and through family that I have done readings for that have committed suicide. And this is going to be a very gentle video, but also it is talking about suicide, so I do want you to be warned. If this is something that you can't handle right now, maybe save the video for later. Let's dive into it. Through the readings that I have given, I have connected to those that have committed suicide in a multitude of ways, but the way that they died is not relevant. What is relevant is that they had committed suicide. I've had readings where a mother will come to me whose son committed suicide, and I was able to connect her to her son within 3 weeks of his death. I've also had readings where the son had committed suicide years previous and I was able to connect to him. What I personally believe is that once we are on the other side, no matter how we pass away, we are able to communicate with those of us still on earth, with our family, with our friends, either through a medium or through giving signs to our family and friends. I do believe that those who have committed suicide do go through a very extensive healing process while they're in the spirit world. And I believe that because the readings that I have done where I have connected to somebody that has committed suicide, each one of them has come through showing me a way that they have been healed or changed on the other side. And I mean that in the most magical way that you can imagine. I had someone who was addicted to drugs and they purposely overdosed, and the mom knows that it was on purpose because they left a letter for her. And I have asked if I'm allowed to talk about these readings, and I have been given permission, but of course I am not going to say anything that's identifiable. But she received this letter from her son that he was going to do this because he couldn't fight this addiction. And so you can imagine, for those that have been addicted to drugs, they don't look the same, their body is frail, they have scars, or it just depends on what they have done because of this addiction. And when her son came through, he purposely showed me bright yellow and white light surrounding him. He came through vibrant, healthy. He was showing me how strong he was. And throughout the course of the reading, he showed me this room where he went into the room to have his soul healed, to have the cracks healed, and to have the light brightened around him to help him and his soul heal from what had happened to him on earth. This room was full of love, full of light. There were beings in this room that were guiding him and helping him, who were encouraging him, not judging him, to heal and be better. This is the reading where I was able to connect to him within 3 weeks of his passing. Now, when she booked this session with me, of course, I don't ask for any information. I don't want to know anything. It's better for me when I connect if I don't know the information. And so when I got there and I started realizing that this was a suicide, I asked the mother if she wanted me to continue, and she said yes. And the reason I bring that up is because I fully believe that the hindrance is on the person here on earth. It's not on the person in spirit. I believe once we pass away, we are able to communicate almost immediately after being transitioned into the spirit world. Where I think the difficulty lies is with us here in the physical world, because we are processing so much grief and so much sadness from losing somebody that it's hard for us to connect. It's hard for us to accept anything. And if you think about it, grief is such a low vibing energy that even when somebody's trying to bring love to you, trying to bring light and healing to you, it's very hard to accept that when you're in such a grieving state of mind. So I personally believe that those who commit suicide are able to communicate immediately. It's just that those of us on this physical world have a hard time being able to hear that because our grief is keeping us so low and so heavy that we just cannot accept that. I have also connected to those who have committed suicide via other methods, who have been able to come forward right away, and others who have taken time to come forward. Something else I want to say is I did a reading for a man who lost his son, and I don't want to get into the manner of it. I was given permission to talk about it. Again, no identifiable details. But his son committed suicide, and it was something that traumatized his father for a very long time. And his father wasn't able to connect to his son for many, many years. He told me that he had been to other mediums. One other one before me was able to connect to his son, but he had gone to many before that, before me, and they could not connect to his son. The message I got from his son was that it wasn't him. It was the father's grief that was blocking that from coming through. And the son knew that if he had connected to his dad at the times that his dad had gone to a medium beforehand, it would have extended his grief. The son in the spirit world knew that his father had to process, had to go through the motions, had to accept, and had to allow the grief to run its course before he could come through to his dad. Otherwise, that grief would have started all over and the father would not have been able to move forward. So I bring this one up because I want you to know that your family on the other side, they're not ignoring you. They're not refusing to come through. It's not that they're not able. Sometimes they can see the bigger picture. They can see what will happen, and we can't, obviously. They can see what's going to happen, and so they choose for your betterment, for your life here on earth, for your heart and soul moving forward. They choose not to come through because it's not the right time for you. It's not the right moment for you. Otherwise, you might go back into this traumatic state that you can't get out of. So please know that somebody that commits suicide is just as capable to come through immediately as somebody who dies of natural causes or any other manner. There is just a multitude of reasons behind the scenes that we might not understand at the moment, but they are always with you. They are always available to you. They are always close to you and always connected to you. I hope this video found great value to those of you that are mediums and to those of you that have lost someone to suicide. I'm so sorry, and I send my deepest healing to you all. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video today. If you have any questions or comments about it, I would encourage them down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye now.